Tonight, we continue our celebration of Women's History Month by gathering the clues about an author who's loved by millions around the globe. Here's Sashem Brey with the story of Mildred Benson.
Over the years, not much has changed in the newsroom layout of the Toledo Blade.
Toward the end of her career in the 90s, this was one of her desks.
In fact, this popular picture of Mildred Wirt Benson was taken at that very seat.
Millie also worked in this general area.
If her name isn't familiar, a character Benson gave life to certainly will be.
She didn't really want us to think of her as the Nancy Drew author. She wanted us to think of her as a fellow journalist.
For many years, no one knew Benson's claim to fame. Her first Nancy Drew book was published in 1930 under the pen name Carolyn Keene. Benson joined the staff of the former Toledo Times in 1944, eventually working for the paper for 58 years. Executive editor Kim Bates remembers her clearly.
She was very focused. She was a little feisty. She was independent and extremely interesting. She traveled Central America. She was a pilot. She was the first master's graduate in journalism among men and women at the University of Iowa.
Benson survived both her husbands and had one daughter named Peggy.
Even those hard years of the Depression, she was supporting herself by writing books for children.
I sat down with Nancy Eames at the main library downtown. She is the youth services coordinator and something of a Nancy Drew expert. You may not know this, but the Toledo-Lucas County Public Library holds the largest public collection of Nancy Drew books and memorabilia in the U.S. The Nancy Drew collection at the main library really started to take shape in 2019, and the whole goal was to make it interactive, just like the books. So bring your curious reader here and check out the mystery wall. You pick up a clue card like this one, then answer the phones, pull the levers, and solve the mystery using all the clues that you're given. Benson was hired by a publishing syndicate to write 23 Nancy Drew books.
And there were some pretty strict guidelines about what they were expecting. A 200-page book, 25 chapters. She was paid $125 for that first Nancy Drew book, with no rights to any further royalties or anything after it was published.
As for Nancy's character, well, that had Benson written all over it.
But it really symbolizes the life of a woman who lived adventurously, took risks, did bold and daring things in a time when women didn't always do that kind of stuff.
And Benson lived that mantra till the end, even showing up for work at the Blade the very day she died.
She is among our really true pioneers here.
A pioneer who gave 96 full years to the world.
I appreciate every last thing she did. And most of us haven't even done a small fraction of that. It's just tremendous.
In Toledo, Sashem Brey, 13 Action News.
And this year marks the 95th anniversary of the publication of first 3 Nancy Drew books. To celebrate next month, the main library is hosting a convention that'll draw people from around the country. To read more about it, head over to our website, 13abc.com.